An analysis of Nazi beautification and propaganda using the 10 stages of genocide, how dehumanization and denial impact international intervention. Ryan J. Chapman, United States Naval Academy, advised by Dr. Donald Wallace, United States Naval Academy. While the Nazis organized the Endlösung, they became aware that the international world might wonder where the Jews went. In order to prevent a fostering of international interest, they decided to create a special camp within Theresienstadt. In provisions, Theresienstadt ghetto would appear to be an aesthetically attractive town and serve as the model camp for the press and the Red Cross. The camp would serve as proof of the humane treatment of the Jews. Preparations for the film took many months, as overcrowding in the ghetto was alleviated by a beautification action in which nearly 20,000 people were deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau. Specifically within Theresienstadt, there existed a soccer match displayed in the film as means of connecting the camp experience to the universal global appeal of sports.
Zur größten Sportveranstaltung in Theresienstadt zum Fußballwettkampf.
In 1944, the Nazis produced a propaganda film called Theresienstadt, a Jewish settlement.
The SS realized that football is something that not just the people in the ghetto, but people all over the world liked.
A regime that accentuated the preeminence of the German state and persecuted Jews for their supposed racial inferiority, soccer seemed like the last likely source of exclusionary humanity. Building off the genocide watch stages, the Germans unavoidably acknowledged the long process of dehumanization, from race laws to concentration camps, to forced labor to death camps. They feel the need to prove that the people in the camps are still people by returning to the people all they took from them. Hitler's use of soccer, what most of the world considered the beautiful game, served as an attempt to use the worldwide sport as a tool for sowing division, a force for unity, and an attempt to shape the topography of history. However, in using beautification action to create an image of the beautiful game, it was nothing close to beautiful, as almost all the people in the film perished just weeks after the film was made. In the end, the National Socialists succeeded in two things with this action: the murder of thousands of Jews and the international acceptance of Theresienstadt as a humanized town. Although the Germans, Nazi and post-1945, moved through all 10 stages of genocide, the recognition of denial demonstrates that there exists a logic to the genocide process, though it does not occur linearly, rather simultaneously. The beautification action and the film highlight two key stages: Stage 4, dehumanization, and Stage 10, denial. In many ways, what the film shows is that the international community often participated in halting genocide, but in this case, all were post-Holocaust approaches. Most recently, the president of the International Committee of the Red Cross attacked his organization's World War II record, saying, quote, "It failed as a humanitarian organization because it lost its moral compass during the Holocaust," and warns that no guarantee such catastrophe could reoccur, end quote. In terms of film and media, I also hope to open up a discussion on how propagandist film, like this one from 1944, might link to social media today. By examining the globalizing power of propaganda in this film using the 10 stages of genocide as a lens, the international community can examine how to prevent humanitarian catastrophe from happening again. Critical findings. The beautification action in the film highlight two key stages. One, Stage 4, dehumanization, and two, Stage 10, denial. In many ways, what the film shows is hollowing out of humanists through the creation of an artificial space, soulless and built on murders and forced labor of tens of thousands of victims, a space used as a tool of denial. While the Nazis denied humanity prior to 1945, this later form of propaganda served as another attempt of dehumanization. The denial stage conjured another dehumanization attempt, although this attempt was to disguise normal human revulsion against mass atrocity. The Nazis, in denial, used euphemisms to hide their intent of genocide. Some euphemisms used in the denial stage included the publicly stated purpose for the deportation of the Jews from Germany was their resettlement to the east, where they would be compelled to perform forced labor. In Nazi propaganda, Theresienstadt was despairingly described as a spa town where Jews could retire in safety. The deportations to Theresienstadt were, however, part of the Nazi strategy of deception. and this deception, using the genocide stages as a lens, was reverted from denial to dehumanization to exhibit a final solution for their denial stage evidence of humane treatment. The film also shows that the window of the Jewish experience was manipulated with propaganda, and in fact also manipulating the international response to dehumanization. The film serves as a case study to examine the role of international community during genocide versus their post-genocide actions. While the Red Cross provided assistance and protection to Allied prisoners of war held by Nazi Germany, it did not do the same for Jewish deportees because the Red Cross did not see Nazi Germany for what it was. How propaganda impacts the stages of genocide can open up a conversation about international organizations like the Red Cross and how and why getting them on board goes wrong. Main conclusions and arguments. While the international community often participated in halting genocide, most of these approaches were all post-Holocaust. By examining the film, it is clear that economics and land control took precedence over refugee reconciliation treatment of the international community. The Red Cross did not see Nazi Germany for what it was. Instead, the organization maintained the illusion that the Third Reich was a regular partner, a state that occasionally violates laws, not unlike any other World War II ally. Because of propaganda, such as Theresienstadt, this lie found further ground. Propaganda develops in the dehumanization and denial stages of genocide. However, denial, stage 10, reverts to dehumanization, stage 4, in an attempt to hollow out humanists during the genocide reconciliation process. By not recognizing the link between the denial and dehumanization stages, the international community failed to recognize the reliance on propaganda as an attempt to deter intervention. Why what you study matter and how it relates to atrocity studies. Study propaganda influence serves as a method to prevent genocide from moving along. It opens up questions of how we can prevent humanitarian catastrophe from happening again. Also, in terms of film and media information, this opens up a discussion on how the international community reacts to disinformation, propaganda, and misinformation in the virtual world today. Lastly, the examination of the film serves as a case study for the impact propaganda has on international intervention during and after the genocide process. More explicitly, the study of how propaganda impacts the stage of genocide can help international organizations prevent mass atrocity by ensuring their response is preventative and effective. Summary of research and methods. There are many steps and much to consider when examining the effect of a film on human behavior, as well as interpreting and analyzing decisions in order to form conclusive results. By taking the film from a historical lens to a contemporary lens, the film served as a case study to examine the impact propaganda has on the international community during and post-genocide through the use of the 10 stages of genocide as a lens. Also, in the course of examining the genocide process through the framework for a methodological analysis of propaganda, it illustrated the fact that a systematic outlook for propaganda impact occurs during both the dehumanization and denial stages of the genocide process. Lastly, the propaganda impact concerns some of the more important efforts to study propaganda under mass atrocity conditions. It also calls attention to some of the difficulties international intervention faces of creating new ways of reconciliation and preventative education. Thank you for watching. I look forward to watching and engaging with all the other stellar presentations. A special thank you to the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum staff and to Dr. Fry for putting this thing together. Go Navy.